We're going to hang out while people wander in, hopefully. We'll see if anybody does. See if anybody wants some knowledge. Well, the link's out there. And if people are interested, I guess they'll come. Doris Alendi of Imladris. Welcome. I hope I enunciated that correctly.
What's up, El Hotep?
Oh, hey.
Yes, it's alive.
Alive.
How you
Hope
doing, brother?
everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Yourself?
Hanging in
Thomas
there.
Johnson, how's everybody doing? Talk to me.
I just had this interesting conversation with one of my fake
Good.
creditors, and it was very interesting. I actually got someone to call me back. And,
Really?
yeah, she has no idea what the hell she's talking about.
No, see, most of these people don't. That's why we have to go to the upper levels. That's one of those things that told me we need to start at the top level. We actually have that inherent right anyway, right? I mean, everybody agrees we are the authority. So why not start at the top? And that tells us automatically by reason or logic that maybe we even ought to start with ourselves first, correct that part, and then we can go to the next top level, which is today, the electronic form. That's what all these cybersecurity laws are. That's what the definitive paper bonds being transferred into, formatted into electronic book entry bonds. That's why everything's data elements. And the key is to press numbered keys or other identifiers. So if we're allowed to give a number in lieu of the name and address, can't we just give the number and fuck off with all the other identifiers? Excuse my language. That's what the law says.
That remains to be seen, as far as I'm.
Well, no, that's what the law says. I
I know.
clarified that.
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying I haven't seen it for myself. So.
Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to open up my screen sharing. Oops, let me make sure I'm on the right window here. Okay. So
I would love to see this work. Definitely would love to.
So some of you know that I'm involved on the Sunday night podcast. Brian Parker from Tactical Sovereignty does a Sunday night talk show every Sunday night. And he invited me to be a co-host with him about just a little over a year ago, I think. And so last night we were discussing things, and one of the topics came up about archangels. And those are the principal protectors of mankind. And in today's world, we think about the principal protection that man needs is that electronic protection, where everything's being transferred instantaneously. So we need instantaneous protection. And so I was searching Archon, as in archangels, and I accidentally left out the H. And I ended up with this. And I'll pull back on the pages. And this is what I started my search out with. And I looked down and it said Customer's Choice 2021 for privileged access. Archon is a leading information risk management solutions provider. Does that sound like insurance? Information insurance provider specialized in privileged access management. So I searched up privileged access management and stuff. Top level domain, privileged access. A lot of you guys know I've got my own site and I started it out as a .art. Well, the top level domain is a .post. And so I looked it up to see what was going on. And securing privileged access overview, Microsoft Documents. Securing privileged access. I ended up privileged access strategy. And they've got implementation guide. Why is privileged access important? Tells us all kinds of stuff. And I'm hoping I can find the path I was on before. Zero trust readiness. Huh. I hadn't run across that one before. But there's another one. Building the recommended strategy. Remember when we talk about settling all the accounts? What we're really talking about is cleaning the account. Clean devices, clean accounts, and clean intermediary systems. Can be used for clean, privileged access to clean, business-sensitive systems. Much like waterproofing, something complex in real life like a boat. Anyway, I started out with Archon. I clicked on that link and come to find out Archon is a leading information risk management solutions provider specializing in privileged access management and continuous risk predictive solutions. In other words, information insurance. In today's complex IT world, internet technologies world, information is the cornerstone of success. For any business, any private entity, any person, anything. It's the new cornerstone. Enterprise risk comprising critical information. What's critical to them is obviously different than what's critical to us. We have to realize that. From malicious insiders. We're not domestic to their foreign corporation. We are outsiders. These are all insider traders, as well as from advanced and organized cyber criminals. Therefore, predicting risk in the IT ecosystem, meaning economics, is critical to nip the threat in the bud. Archon is recognized for its risk predictive capability. The company is based on three founding principles: predict, protect, and prevent. What is what ought be. What was done is what ought be done. So now we need to protect that to prevent anything coming against that. Having emerged from the data center, these are all the data elements everybody enters in. It's numbered keys, to press numbered keys or other identifiers. It starts out with a number. Start out with the numbers. Can I give this number just like everybody else? The buyer, the seller, the shipper? Uh-huh. Okay, let's start out with that. What's that number do? That's your next question. Well, no, what is the number? Well, according to the Social Security number, if it's got 2 hyphens, it's a Social Security number, but they list it on the financial index without the hyphens and call it an SSN. What does SSN mean? According to this financial index on the court registry investment systems. Uh-oh. Now there is a question. And working closely with the grassroots users, we understand the pain points from the administrators to CIO, Chief Information Officer. Again, that's the data elements. You're the one that's giving them. If you're operating in the capacity of an officer and transporting from your post to their post, you're the one doing it. Quit it. And the risks faced by them on a daily basis, whatever we build or innovate, the risk predictive element is a part of our DNA. UBA, user behavior analytics. Again, they always start out with the user, not the customer, not the seller, not the shipper, not the buyer, the user. User behavior analytics is a robust solution that helps in monitoring and assessing end user. You are the end user, but they're using that end user as part of their organization for their behavioral profiles. We have to put a line there. UCC 9-102 is the product is now defined by its use, by the one that possesses it. They no longer have authority of any kind of title. Just because of their interest in research of behavioral patterns for a commercial purpose means nothing. And it triggers real-time alerts when an end user deviates from configured baseline activities. In essence, the solution allows end users to do what they want, but it will monitor, assess, analyze, and take the action to keep suspicious behavior profiles in check. This is the issue. When we're using these lower domains, the lower domain extensions, they are all hacked by black market information data collectors. And they're using all that data for their own commercial purposes, and it's being misconstrued, misplaced, and that's where everybody goes to get their news. You're going to find out. These people own the news media. I'm going to show you. PAM, Privileged Access Management, is a highly effective solution that helps in managing, controlling, and monitoring privileged user activities. Now we went from end user to privileged user. The solution provides Internet Technology Security Team with a centralized policy framework to authorize and govern the privileged users based on their roles and responsibilities. When you show that you're self-governing, everything's given to you on the international form in the electronic form. I've already proven that. I've got my own site. Nobody's rebutted it. It's already part of the privileged access management. It's already stating you must have privileged access. The solution offers rule and role-based restricted access to targeted systems to ensure all access is made strictly. I don't know why it does that. Make sure all access to targeted systems is made strictly on need to know. They do this on spendthrift trusts. So security. Again, I don't know why it's doing that. And need to do basis. The solution enables IT team to elevate privileges just in time Today's thing, like I showed in Reconciling the Master Trust Account, puts the authority on the postmaster or that employee so assigned to do their own research and resolve the issue within 72 hours. It ensures security of all target systems whilst implementing the principles of least privilege. Security compliance management enables to prioritize security and compliance efforts based on risk level, enterprise-wide. Again, this is why the top domain extensions kind of wipes everything out. This is the highest security you can get. The tool helps in continuous risk management for critical technology platforms. It governs, assesses, responds, monitors, and optimizes information risk management. Archon PAM is really at the cutting edge of PAM solution and therefore must always be in the consideration set. We are very happy with the product. It's a product, people, process, and their support system. Then it says Vishal Samant, MyRay asset. So I looked him up. MyRay asset. And when I looked him up and found their MyRay asset global investment company, everybody still seeing my screen?
Yep.
So you see the SEC number here. Republic of Korea. We go down through this report. And what I want everybody to notice is these guys instituted MyRay asset in 2009, February 13th of 2009. It's never been used. Instead, they use Sage Club. And they do this 9/30 of 2019 for Sage Club, two different registrations. But when we look at Sage Club, it tells us mark for Sage Club. In a unique font, registration is intended to cover the category of securities trading services for others via the internet and the global information network. Banking and insurance brokerage services, financial information, management and analysis services, brokerage in shares and other securities, providing investors with financial information, advice relating to investments, financial customs brokerage services, international fund investment consultation, appraisal of precious metals, consultancy. Current location, TMO Law Office, examining attorney assigned 7-2020. Serial number. Mark drawing type 5. Mark type, a service mark, not a trade mark. They trademarked and copyright trade service marks, people. Standard character claim? Nope. So who's got the claim? Where is this claim? Is it here? Class status active, primary U.S. classes, advertising business, insurance, and financial. So all they're doing is advertising finances and insurance. Insurance and finance, financial affairs, monetary affairs, real estate affairs. Oh, goodness. Filed use? No. Current use? No. intent to use? No. Filed intent to use? No. 40. They don't even intend to use it, people. The mark consists of Mireille asset in blue font and a swoosh through the word asset, beginning with a horizontal bar in the letter A and continuing up to an orange line set off from the letter T. The color white represents background and or transparent areas and is not part of the mark. Mark for Mireille asset TM trademark registration is intended, huh? I thought there was no intent issued to cover the categories of distribution of films, rental of signed films, publication of electronic books and journals online, news reporter services. See, I told you they own the news reporter service supposedly, huh? Education information, education in the field of financial rendered through correspondence courses. Rental of stadium facilities, providing various facilities for an array of sporting events, sports and athletic competitions and award programs. Current location, same place. That's 2013. Education and entertainment. Education, providing of training, sporting and cultural activities. Goodness gracious. That's quite a fine filed use, no. Current use, no. Intent to use, yes. Filed intent to use, filed 40D, no. Okay, so now we have a intent to use and it's filed. Did they use it? Nope. These people babbling. Guess what? Attorney name. Look there. There's an attorney docket number. You know what an attorney docket number is, don't you? There's a law office assigned. An attorney docket number is in regards to a copyright, patent, trademark application, USPO, PTO application filed 2/13/2009, published 1/12/2010, published for opposition to 1/12/2010. Date of first use 9/2011. Excuse me. I thought they didn't use it. Oh, maybe they did use it and they don't have use anymore. Date of use in commerce. Uh-oh. It was abandoned 12/13/2012. Abandoned because the applicant failed to respond to, or filed a late response to an action or office action. Status dead, abandoned. It would behoove you to check some of these sites out, huh? Vishal Samant, Vice President, Information Technology, Mire Asset. So when we go back here and we see Archon PAM is really at the cutting edge of PAM solution and therefore must always be in the consideration set. We are very happy with the product, people, process, and their support system. Vishal Samant, as we saw. Result-driven technology professional with over 17 years experience in project management, IT operations. Solution architects, database administration and development, majority in MF and PMS product with experience banking and insurance Mediclaim. Anyway, I'm going to open the board for questions the rest of the night. I just wanted to give some interesting information. You know, I'm going to grab those links and post them in the chat section for everybody. But if y'all ain't got any questions, I'm going to shut it down. So.
I don't totally understand what all you just went over, what the end result is going to be.
Well, basically, when we set up the master trust account through the Postal One site and have that .post domain extension, like I got my website under .art right now. When I get everything set up, it's going to be transferred to a .post, and that's a top-level domain. It has its own security.
I looked up type post on through my hosting service, and it didn't come up. But I would think .post would be more appropriate than .art, right?
Correct. .post is, we're talking about post marshal instead of a postmaster. They're two distinct different terms.
Right. And post marshal is senior to master, right?
Post marshal is above postmaster. Post marshal is the one that makes the commands, and a postmaster is somebody that one goes to make a request, believing that they are in command.
Right. So the post marshal is senior to the postmaster.
Correct.
Yeah. What about this Postal One account?
That's where we're supposed to set up the master trust account.
Right. One spelled out. .com. Is that right?
Say what?
Postal1.com or what?
I think so.
What do you call Postal One?
That's the site that we're supposed to set up the master trust account with. Just punch in Postal One as one word, and it should come up.
Postal One help desk. Gateway USPS.
Might be.
US business customer, USPS business customer gateway.
Go.
Huh? Is that it?
There you go. That's who you want to set up the irrevocable letter of credit with. Online account, irrevocable letter of credit, establishing your recognition on the international forum. You are the post marshal. You're not subject to them. That's what we're going to do with that peace treaty and everything. We're going to ratify it and give it back to them. Here you go. We're a marshal.
When I deal with these creditors, I'll get you post marshal.
Right. Yeah.
Will they know what that is, or will they think I'm full of beans?
And if they don't, you refer them to the federal chancellor of Swiss Confederation.
Man, I got a lot to learn. So you can't just set this up and use it like an end user. You really gotta be well studied and well versed on this.
Well, you got to know the simple things first, and that is nobody has the right to discount your international recognition if you can establish that first, and you're not bound by establishing your international recognition through a national border of any sort. This is why, one of the reasons why I'm confounded why everybody wants to claim some kind of nationality to assert their international respect. Everybody has international respect just as much in their own index finger as an entire nation.
Most of us don't know the difference.
Yeah.
We don't know what all the options and
Well, they're the ones begging for the.
All we want to do is be free.
Yep.
Don't really care how. Just, you know, and of course I prefer the simplest, most direct way, which is what you seem to be driving at. So, you know.
Well, like I mentioned here, it's zero trust access control.
If this undercuts all that secure shit, I'm all for it.
Huh?
Secure party creditor stuff, you know, all the steps, all the forms, all that stuff, piles and piles of paper and bureaucracy and informing so and such and such, and I'm with this and I'm with that, you know. But it sounds like you always got to be fighting for recognition your whole life, no matter what. You always have to defend your positions. If this undercuts that, that's great. That's beautiful.
Well, it doesn't undercut it; it surpasses it. It shuts everything off at that port because you are, like I said, you're the post marshal. You can literally, we're going to be running around with a badge of our own. Saying, no, I don't think so.
Undercut as in simplified or short circuit, you know. What you're saying.
Okay, yeah, right. Because we're going to transit through the mails, and we're not going to enter into the mail. There's a difference.
It's pi instead of pi r squared
out through the electronic setup.
Right.
So
well, that's cool.
As this page shows, it's even got like I showed people with the mission of the Library of Congress. It's got an intent here about this strategy requires a combination of zero trust access control, which is what we want. We've got to recognize it that we're the ones that have this trust because theirs is faulty. And then asset protection. And again, we're the only ones that can provide that asset protection by assessing the asset for what it is. Ours, not theirs. And it's ours, and we are his. They have no claim because of that. No matter what kind of monetary value they want to assess. The assessment has already been said. And that's what assessing is all about. It's as saying, A-S-A or A-S-S-A-Y. Look up gold assayer. That's the process of assessing what value to put something.
Gold
assayer? My yay is my yay, my name. And therefore I coin my words. If not, I purse my lips.
Did you say gold assayer?
It's like golden apples with silver frames. They can't rebut the stuff. You're just correcting the record, and you're doing it on the electronic forum. You're doing it entirely in peace, with international recognition in peace, proving a private entity separate from all others on the international level. No one else can assert that right, even with that copyright. And I remind you people, I have that copyright. Yeah, directly from the post office, postal terms.
Copyright to what?
Same one Facebook and Twitter uses and tries to use against you. Yeah, let them try to use it against me now.
Copyright of what, Chief?
To be able to use a social platform against people and restrict their creator content through that kind of copyright, saying, well, it has to go through us first. The fuck it does. You open the site as a social site, not as a publisher.
Right.
The only publishing rights they have is to their policy. And we can adopt that policy, ratify it by line item throughing it, line item veto through the things we don't override and give it back. Offer accepted and improved. If they dishonor that by rejecting it, it proves their initial offer was in dishonor.
Well, their website name is definitely trademarked. I found that out.
Mark Zuckerberg looked like all bug-eyed. Wait till he gets my hands on his balls. Yeah,
What balls?
exactly. I'm going to reach them all the way up. I'm going to be his puppeteer from now on.
Right.
See, this is all simple stuff. And this isn't even what I was going to do tonight, but like I said, I came across it last night um, while doing research on Brian's show.
Cool. Well, do you have a simplified format to jump into this and get going? You got step-by-step instructions or
Well, I posted all the videos that I've done so far. I started out with a Facebook Live doing reconciling the master trust account. And
yeah.
then I turned around and started doing the Zooms. So I've got one Facebook Live video and then 6 Zooms, plus the one here tonight is number 7. And the first parts I've all posted on YouTube. So they're all in order right now.
You have this all backed up, all of it, including the Facebook videos?
Yep. Everything's on my own external drive.
Nobody can shoot you down this time?
Nope.
Okay, good. Phase 2 if you need it.
Well, that's like, but see, that's why I said, I've got the same copyright Zuckerberg does. So when he wants to sit there and play tit for tat, he gets to restrict mine. Well, I get to restrict yours then. Let's take this private because you're going to shut your mouth until we get this ordered out. And I said that correctly, ordered out. I'm the commander here. You still got somebody else's hand up your puppet ass. Implicating some kind of legal policy. Don't even know where the word of truth come from. You ignorant fuck. Excuse my language. But anyway, there's links to that the CEO and then that MyRay trademark report. Check those out and do your own research and figure some things out. And this is what it's all about. And like I said, it's just paperwork that they're professing on a public record that's all false. Corrected at the electronic level, at the upper level.
How did you come about that realization, Keith?
Huh?
How did you come about those realizations?
When I was researching all the paper bonds, they're switching over, and that's why we have the ECFR and the EUS code, electronic codes and everything. And everything's switching to electronics because nobody's using typewriters anymore. They've gone by the wayside, just like 8-track tapes and the tape drives, and even the hard CD discs that we used to start out with when we first had computers that used discs. They were hard discs, and then they became 3-inch discs, and then they became CDs, and then they became CD-ROMs and CD-RAMs, and then they became cards, and then they became mini cards, and it's just everything's just moving so fast, but it's all electronic.
Let me ask you something. Are the courts accepting electronic?
You can shove it right down their throat.
Electronic.
The key is the definition in postal terms, to press numbered keys or other identifiers. Now put that in its chronological sense, people, because it's mathematical. First in time, first in line. So if we think about to press numbered keys first, and then correlate with that with their own law under 19 CFR, the customs code, which means it's custom. I mean, it's common, right?
What do you mean numbered keys as opposed to letters?
Yes. Other identifiers. They don't call them numbers or lettered keys. They call them other identifiers. You're the one using those letters to identify. Quit it. Use the number. Listen, 19 CFR 149.3 tells us that buyers, sellers, and shippers can all three use a number in lieu of the name and address, which consists of the other identifiers.
19 CFR 143.
In lieu of the name and address. Here's the number.
Keith, 19 CFR 19 CFR Part 143.
149.
49.3. Okay.
And it's that simple, folks. That's why I established on my site, I've got a new name. I established a private membership association under that new name, adopting the old name in full, Keith Orland Little, and then attaching the faith-based union. Now it is with the faith-based union of others. And now mark as well with a new number.
What is your number?
It's the one on my site. It's my own number that I created. It's the Epoch number.
Which site?
Time security note, telling the world to take notice. This is what securitizes me. Everything below that number, you see the mark and the name and the PMA and the video and the patent in my own language and then in English.
I forget the name of your site, Keith. What is it again?
WordWiseWarriors.art.
WERWURD or WORD? WO.
Get it into you before this closes.
WordWise.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay.
Get it now. It's good, about ready to close. All right. Love y'all. Thank you for joining me.
Peace, Keith. Goodbye.
You bet. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.